If you're intrigued by astrology, you probably already know that each sign of the zodiac has a list of admirable qualities. We all enjoy being reminded of how organized, creative, and gorgeous we are, which is one of the main reasons why reading about these is so much entertaining. Then yet, each sign also shares certain fewer desirable flaws in common. These are the potentially toxic behaviors that might manifest, often as a result of our darker personality traits and persistent poor habits. Reading up on them is worthwhile, even though they might not be as entertaining to hear about, particularly because becoming more conscious of our toxic qualities might result in our overcoming them. The first step forward is awareness, as it is with everything. We have put together a list of each zodiac's toxic trait. The saying "the stars incline us, they do not bind us" was the guiding principle of ancient astrologers. Hello and welcome back to our channel. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you want to find out the toxic traits of the zodiac signs, then be sure to watch the video to the very end. With that said, let's get straight into the video. Number 1. Aries. You could be a little arrogant, pushy, demanding, and impulsive as an Aries. You may even be a little bit of a bully. That is so because Aries is good at playing the boss role, which is obviously wonderful but can easily be exaggerated. Additionally, their impatience may disrupt their relationships. Toxic trait: poor impulse control. The very qualities that make Aries fun to be around also make them a cause of discomfort for others, or worse, a full-fledged emotional terrorist. Of course, they're typically attractive, and even when they have tantrums, they don't usually last long, so people put up with their bullshit for a lot longer than they ought to. Finally, Aries, practice using your will to get things done without harming or overpowering people. Number 2. Aquarius. When it comes to your clever comments and jokes, Aquarius people can come off as a little sarcastic and awkward at times because they tend to be above it all. A social rebel at heart, Aquarius simply does not care about what other people think, and their aloof personality comes across as selfish and self-absorbed. Toxic trait: duplicity. Aquarians are inevitably torn between order and abandonment because they are ruled by the structured planet Saturn and the chaotic planet Uranus. They make excellent cult leaders and dubious politicians because of this tension. As an air sign, Aquarians are prone to establishing public personas that conceal their inner selves and to being emotionally detached. It is challenging to truly know or comprehend the motivations of an Aquarius as a result of this distance. That at best makes them enigmatic, at worst makes them downright dishonest. Number 3. Cancer. The fact that Cancer is the zodiac sign with the highest level of emotion can be quite beneficial. However, you're also well known for being too sensitive, moody, and able to hold resentment. Their emotional swings are completely out of control, and their hypersensitivity frequently results in melancholy. Toxic trait: flagrant disregard for privacy restrictions. The moon rules Cancer, which is associated with the divine feminine. It represents the mother archetype, which is best depicted as a source of sustaining energy. When it is at its worst, it behaves like the worst type of matriarch, the kind that consumes alcohol at your birthday celebration, reads your diary, and tries to have a sexual relationship with your partner because she only ever sees you as an extension of herself. We can observe characteristics of Cancer in the repeatedly troublesome behavior of line crosser and chronic oversharer, including their difficulty to preserve their own limits as well as their frequent failure to respect the boundaries of others. Finally, get approval. You have no right to anyone's totality or interiority. Number 4. Capricorn. You are the zodiac sign with the highest level of ambition, yet as we all know, hard work can sometimes backfire. At work, for instance, you might occasionally come across as arrogant, egotistical, and demanding. The focus and drive of the Capricorn can quickly become an obsession. Toxic trait: ruthlessness. Capricorns are calm strategists who can quickly see their own opportunities and others' vulnerabilities. The greatest among them use this information carefully, using it to advance while being mindful not to step on anyone else in their path. The worst form of goat ascends to the top and uses their position to oppress and take advantage of others. Capricorns, make sure you choose compassion, often and always. Number 5. Gemini. Do you ever feel like your mind is taking over? If this is the case, it may cause anxiety and even boredom as your mind wanders from one thing to another. Additionally, Geminis enjoy gossip, have a hint of deceit, and occasionally display skepticism. In the end, this may result in anxiety and tension. Every time, insomnia is highly likely. Toxic trait: no filter. Mercury, the planet of communication, rules Gemini. Thus, these individuals' heads are constantly buzzing with knowledge, idle chit-chat, pop cultural trivia, conspiracy theories, and insults. Problems develop when people choose to weaponize their words rather than fact-check or self-edit, spewing a flood of inflammatory falsehoods, accusations, and unasked-for opinions. Number 6. Leo. We all know that Leos are prideful, yet this is another excellent quality that, when overused, can really work against them. Leo is more capable than you are of doing anything. Their stubborn dispositions can often drive their loved ones away, and their ego is their worst enemy. Leos enjoy being in the spotlight, but their dramatic meltdowns often make them feel alone. Toxic trait, malignant narcissist. Leo, I bet you thought this trait applied to you. The intense self-love that makes up a healthy Leo can develop into an unquenchable hunger for attention. Expect to be trampled by insults and criticism in their hunt for validation. For them, achieving happiness is a zero-sum game that they must prevail in. Number 7. Libra. You would assume that Libra, symbolized by the scales, would be fairly balanced, but they too exhibit a number of hazardous characteristics. If you're a Libra, you might have trouble overcoming your tendency toward moodiness, indecision, and people-pleasing. On the flip side, their elegance and charm are a result of their own psychological inadequacy and their covertly manipulative nature. They are also not very adept at conflict. Toxic trait, pitting other people against each other. Venus rules Libra, therefore they prefer to keep their hands clean. Instead, then dealing with problems and arguments head-on, they rather prefer to delegate aggressiveness and try to instigate conflict among their pals. Additionally, maintaining their closest relationships intact keeps them at the head of the pack. Number 8. Pisces. Pisces is a very imaginative, dreamy sign, which might make you feel as though your head is in the clouds. Since your only objective in life is to escape inside your thoughts, people could believe you're a little emotionally detached or even deceptive. Watch yourself on that one as well. You can possibly have a propensity of telling lies. Toxic trait, covert narcissist. Piscean narcissism, in contrast to Leo narcissism, is frequently characterized by self-sacrifice and a martyr attitude. They will take on emotional responsibilities well beyond what is necessary, only to hold it against you later and become resentful of you for it. No matter what anyone else is experiencing or what is just, in their eyes, they are the main victim. Number 9. Sagittarius. You're a lot of fun as a Sagittarius, and people enjoy being around you since you don't use filters. But it can be hard for others to overlook that trait, and they could even label you as naive and careless. Because the sign of the Archer is ruled by Jupiter, the greatest planet in our solar system, it can be challenging to know when to stop. Toxic trait, rudeness. Sagittarians are idealistic seekers who are drawn to intellectual missions and inquiries. They are idealists with an odd moral code who view tact as a social construct and kindness as a notion rather than a practice. As a result, they frequently employ frank language and crude humor. Number 10. Scorpio. You might find it difficult to respond calmly and logically when someone wrongs you, and you might even lash out in a completely toxic way. For Scorpio, who is ruled by the god of the underworld, it's all or nothing. Their spiteful nature and envious mentality can often result in addictions as well as melancholy. In the worst situation, their self-destructive actions may also result in chronic sickness. Toxic trait, trust issues. The constant conflict within a Scorpio is their inability to readily give up their absolute trust while simultaneously demanding it. They are free to examine your correspondence, look for signs that you are telling the truth, and use shady tactics to check your loyalty, but assuming anything less than the best intentions from them. Treason. Number 11. Taurus. Unbelievably, your overwhelming need for comfort might be a sign of your most destructive tendencies. Taurus is the sign that is most comfortable, yet their overwhelming need to indulge might result in problems with their wealth or health. Taurus wants to have their cake and eat it too, as the saying goes. As a result, you might discover that you are materialistic, possessive, and stubborn. Toxic trait, never being sorry. The toxic varieties of bulls are particularly obstinate and never admit to making mistakes. Even if they were wrong in accordance with the laws of science, reason, and justice, they will never apologize due to their stubborn refusal to admit error and enormous ego. It just seems like those laws apply to them. Number 12. Virgo. Virgos tend to be quite critical and controlling since they are perfectionists at heart. If this describes you, you might also have a propensity to push yourself to the limit, feel excessively exhausted, and turn pessimistic when you can't go on. Virgo is the zodiac sign that is the most realistic, but their preoccupation with perfection is the exact opposite of realistic. If they're not careful, their self-critical personality might lead to stress and obsessive-compulsive illnesses. Toxic trait: death from 1,000 cuts. Virgos have exceptionally strong analytical minds, which is the source of their perfectionism. They can spot flaws in anything, and when that ability becomes toxic, it leads to continuous pessimism that can crush even the most self-assured egos. And they can truly twist the knife thanks to their well-known wit and verbal dexterity. Whether you approach it from an astrological perspective or not, we all have unfavorable and toxic aspects to our characters. Even though it's acceptable to be who you are and embrace your quirkier traits, being aware of the ones that might be holding you back might motivate you to make positive changes. How did you feel? Were your bad behaviors identified? Please let us know if we got it right or wrong in the comments section below. Enjoyed this video? Hit the like button and share with your friends. Also subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.